All right. And today we're going to discuss about one part of the knowledge system, knowledge management system, which is the knowledge application system. Okay. In week 4, we discussed the definition. The system, it refers to the system that support the process through which some individuals, okay, people keep coming, no problem. Some individual utilize knowledge possessed by other individuals without actually acquiring or learning that knowledge. Try to imagine the situation. It's the situation that the system, for example, constraint-based constraint-based system. You try to figure out all the facts, all the data related to decision making. When you entered all the facts, all the environment, you want to get the suggestion. Constraint system will tell you what not to do. Okay, if your suggestion is against the, for example, your suggestion is against the policies of the government, for example, because they have the data. Without actually that person doesn't acquire the knowledge from the system, but because of the database itself is properly indexed, and the knowledge of employees, the knowledge of other employees were properly classified, categorized in that system. Okay, that constraint-based reasoning will allow the system to tell. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, and I hope now 18. Let's have a look on the attendance. I think I still so still we have Ahmad Naufal Zuhairi. We have it today. Not yet, yeah. Ahmad Naufal Ibad, yes, we have it, but not Zuhairi. And also, do we? Okay, Naufal Ibad, yes, I have. You are very consistent student coming to the class. I'll thank you very much. But do we have today the Hafizul Izani? Okay, so no, I have no other choice. I would like to apologize to these two. I need to comply with the rules and regulation. The first warning letter will be released from supposedly last Monday, but I'm still putting a hope in myself. They will still coming to the class, because I do not want to. This is the last resort I want to utilize. But since there was a pressure from the Kuliah, I have no option except to comply with the directive. All right. Okay, I hope then no one will join after this. All right. Well, constraint-based system, for example, based on the proper index of the system, proper classification of the system by other employees, and put in the system in the proper database, the employee will put the other people, if they want to make a decision by using that system, they will put the scenario and they will put what they want to do. The system will suggest. Constraint-based reasoning will tell you, will tell the other employees that your decision actually is against the government policy, for example, or your policy, your decision will affect other stakeholders. Why? They will come up. These are this type of knowledge application system. You apply the knowledge, you properly in the data, the information, the policies, the other people knowledge will properly identified, indexed, classified in the particular system, and that information, that data, that knowledge will be utilized for this thing. Okay, for decision making. That other people, other employees who's using that knowledge is actually not acquiring from that person. Okay, but it was suggested in another form, another format. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, to have a clear detail for today's class. Only 16 slide, but the rest, the detail you can read in your textbook page from page 93. Okay, so please, brothers and sisters, read your textbook. Okay, so that you have an idea, especially when you want to write or draft your case study report. All right. All right. So if I were you, I start to read from most. Just to tell you, you can read from 1 to 6 from, and you will have a 2 question. For question number 1, normally on this topic, on this chapter, since the application, the second question number 2 for your quiz number 1 is application based system, mean that you need to apply, you need to analyze, you need to suggest. Okay, so it's going to be 1 to 5, meaning that there will be some portion of it I will extract it, and I will ask you to suggest how you want to apply. This is I give you the hint. So there's no reason for you not to excel in the quiz number 1. Okay, today we will discuss about this topic. Knowledge application system that utilize knowledge. In contrast to the socialization, under which subdomain? Anyone can suggest what socialization? Which subdomain of that? And the 4 processes, there are sub-processes. Okay, one of the things is socialization. In contrast to the okay, I don't think, because it's still morning, you are still not. In contrast to the knowledge discovery system and knowledge sharing system that focus on one of the sub-component is socialization. Okay, discovery and sharing, meaning that other people will acquire other people knowledge through the socialization. Okay, the knowledge application system is system that utilize knowledge. The system that you develop, you as future programmer develop based on the input from other employees of your organization. You index it properly, you classify it properly. Okay, so that when people try to make another decision related to certain scenario, they include all the data they have. The system will suggest, look, this thing against the other policy. This thing should be done in this way. Why? Because that's the utilized knowledge. Okay, that's contrast. For sharing, for knowledge discovery system and knowledge sharing system, which is they have another one sub-component, which is socialization. The system will allow other employees to interact, to ask, to have the mutual discussion on certain issues. Okay, this is a thing that. But for this way, it's just that's why if you look at the definition of the system support the process through which some individuals utilize knowledge processed by other individuals without actually acquiring or learning that knowledge. You just use it. Okay, this is the thing that the first one. Okay, this is a topic we're going to discuss. What type of knowledge application mechanisms we're going to discuss about the knowledge application technologies such as the expert system, okay, disease support, advisor system, fault diagnosis, help desk system. Okay, meaning that you just I can say that, meaning that you can just put your scenario, your data, your points, and then the system will tell you for DSS, disease support system. Okay, This is one example. They will tell you the right way to do, the best scenario based on the recent government policy, and so forth. All right. Okay, knowledge system. This is one of the things that you learn about IoT. You learn about artificial intelligence. Okay, this is just something additional input related to knowledge management. For example, AI. You know already, computer perform tasks that human thinking ability based on logics. Okay, but not on the emotional basis. Everything based on logic. Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4, not 2 plus 2 is 3 plus 1. Okay, this is different. Okay, but still the same. But I'm trying to give an analogy like that. Okay, system that act like humans, think like human. Maybe that's still limitation, but these are the thing that the computer scientists want to have related to application system. There's still limitation because of this logic or input or ability for the system to process all the inputs from the programmers to logically rationalize everything. Okay, a computer program whose input to output behavior matches those of human in terms of logic. Okay, you know about AI, system that think rationally, system that act rationally, and this system, all the inputs is based on the knowledge from other employees or from other experts in the field. Okay, for example, the system for AI, for example, for to support the knowledge of the system in the field of engineering, they will come up all the people, they will they will identify the knowledge from the main people or main prominent people in the field. They identify it, they classify it, they index it, and they will refer. They have another dimension of the rules and regulation with regard to that field. Okay, engineering, policies by the government, enactments whatsoever. They come out together, and then the system. When any scenario, when the other employee want to know, okay, they will suggest the right decision based on what and so forth. This is the one of the knowledge of the system. That's why it's the system that utilize knowledge. All right. Okay, computer versus human versus artificial intelligence. Computer perform repetitive, these are theological tasks. Okay, you have arithmetics, calculation, everything, database retrieval, and storage based on the relation whatsoever. If you're a relational database, based on the relationship, but based if the object-oriented different context, can computer tasks are mainly algorithmic in nature. Yes, based on the processes, based on the steps and step. Precise, logically designed instruction. Okay, based on that's why cache, all bus, all these things we can see as a computer operation. This is your field. You know, when someone talk to you, what's the difference? If someone just to test you, you can answer straight away the difference between computer and human instance because this is your field. You have studied computer from the year 1 until now. You know about all the things related to computer better than me. Okay, I'm just it's not my for the hardware and OS. You'll study everything. That's your field. You know how logically computer can operate in the real world. That's the processes involved in the algorithmic processes or procedures involved in the every step when you click one button from the binary to the thing that presented in your monitor. You know this. Okay, that's the computer. But human, we software using symbol meaning because why we understand the concept. We understand we have other things that can support us. Okay, sometimes it involves our feeling, it involves our experiences. For example, to understand the poem. Okay, that's the meaning. Okay, for example, I formulation you know that rather than saying I love you, If you, I had, I watched last week one video from Indonesian poet, that said that rather than saying I love you, they say that izinkan aku mencium sebiji debu di kakimu. See that's the thing that formula. I'm sorry, I cannot able to translate that word. Okay, they have the simple meaning, but they have the very deep meaning from the word. Okay, for if the computer allow me to kiss one dust in that appear in your foot. Okay, that's the translation and the best translation I can do to show that you love that guy, that's a person. Okay, allow me to kiss one piece of dust in your feet. Okay, to show that you want to humble yourself. Okay, rather than say I love you, I like you. Okay, this is the thing that this is the human. We have used the symbol, the meaning, but for the AI, intelligence and knowledge are tightly intertwined in terms of how we the knowledge based on cognitive symbols. Okay, for example, in this context of the point just now, okay, allow me to kiss one piece of dust at your feet. It means that not just kiss per physical cognitive symbol. What does it mean? Okay, okay, these are the things that artificial intelligence maybe, sir, it is far from happening. Yes, because why? Because we are not having a proper database about the symbols. But what about in future? There will be a big project by UNESCO, for example, to support this thing. This thing can happen. Okay. Intelligence refers to our ability to learn and communicate in order to solve problems. Intelligence. Yeah. The system. I think you watch the robotic or the robot movies. I think the best one is on. I forgot the name. Indian programmer and with his robot. Anyone watch that movie? Uh, Anyone? I think I forgot the name. There's a movie from the robot and the programmer. Okay, based on logic, and suddenly they try to understand this that. Okay, the sign that provide computer with ability to represent and manipulate symbols so that can be used to solve problems not easily solved through algorithmic models. Okay, in contrast, the computer, which is based on the algorithmic in nature, they try to come up with the system or the computers, okay, still computers, ability to present and manipulate symbols. That's AI in general. Okay, so not only the system is capable to deal with the logic and rational environment, but also using to understand the symbols. Okay, this is an example of the sorry, technology for the knowledge epic system. Okay, we have the rule-based system, case-based reasoning, constraint-based reasoning, which I just mentioned to you at the beginning of this class, model-based reasoning, the arithmetic reasoning. Okay, okay, rule-based system, applicable when domain knowledge can be defined by a manageable set of rules or heuristic. What does it mean by heuristic? Meaning that it is a process of self-discovery, self-learning. Okay, you learn something by yourself, understand something by yourself. Okay, domain knowledge can be defined by a manageable set of rules. Your knowledge, for example, you are the programmers. You programmers, let's say your company wants to set up a system based on a rule-based system. Your company gather all the experts in your company, including yourself. And you are very good in the system development, for example, life cycle, simple as that. You know from the planning until the implementation and maintenance. You know all the rules related to the policies and government, the policies and the budget for every year for maintenance whatsoever. You know about the contract, legal, and your knowledge is properly identified by your companies and properly indexed by your companies, set of rules They come up with the processes or set of rules from classification of their knowledge, index of that knowledge. And that knowledge will be processed, will be molded, will be designed in the way that any decision from other employees, if they want to learn, if they want to make decision, will help that employee to have a right decision. I hope you understand. That's the simplest way. From the system development cycle that you categorize all the sub knowledge, okay, together with additional knowledge related to the government rules and policies, related to the what we call that, the contract or of that system, okay, and so forth. Case-based reasoning applicable in the weak theory domain is when an expert either does not exist or does not fully understand the domain. But the system, you actually, let's say, in a scenario that, for example, you are the engineering company. Your company is focused on engineering, on the civil engineers, for example. At the same time, you also have, you hire, for example, the one architect, which is specialized in the Malay arts, civil engineering, and Malay art architecture. Okay. Actually, if you look at, yeah, it got to do, but why you hire this guy? Because you want to identify his knowledge, okay, related, so that in future, when you have a project related to the, whether there is a request from the customers to come out with a project that have got to do with the Malay architecture in the design whatsoever, you can refer to that. Okay, but this guy does know nothing but civil engineers. Okay, also applicable in the influence-based pain in the organization rather than a single individual. For the organization, you look for the whole organization. Okay, another category is a constraint-based reasoning. Applicable domain that are defined by constraint, what cannot be done. For example, I just give it to you just the beginning of class. You are native based on the knowledge that you leverage from your employees. Okay, you index it properly. When someone, other employees want to make decision, they list down all the scenarios and they propose the decision that he intend to make. The system suggests, look, your decision is against with the current government policy on what? Environment, for example, if you are civil engineering companies. Model-based reasoning, applicable when design system based on description of internal working of the engineered system. Okay, this knowledge is typically available from design specification, drawing, and books. Okay, for example, you know that you are as I mentioned, we can use the civil engineering companies. Okay, you already have the knowledge. Suddenly, your company requests, your client requests you to draw, to have the design, to build a building based on the Malay traditional Malay architecture. You have that model from that system because you have leverage from that. Okay, there's a model-based reasoning. All the inputs, all the classification of knowledge is properly indexed in that particular system and just being utilized by other individuals. Okay, diagrammatic reasoning, applicable when the domain is best represented by diagram and imagery, such as when solving geometric problems. Okay, you have the more mathematical. They can have it. You have the. I think you can go the simple example is but one of the, I forgot the name of the LaTeX. Yeah, LaTeX is one of the simple of this thing. You can anyone use the LaTeX for your, you can this is the best example, simple example for diagrammatic reasoning. Okay, if you're using LaTeX in your for especially for those who are want to do the computer scientists, computer science. They use LaTeX, and they easily for them to identify the proper diagram, proper equation to solve any problems. Okay, rule-based system. Okay, model represent domain knowledge. Use rules or model to represent domain knowledge. Requirement, subject matter expert. I mentioned to you just now. Knowledge engineer, responsible for the allocation and representation of the expert knowledge. Okay, rule-based system. What? This is the thing that can be defined by manageable set of rules. I think I already explained to you just now already. 49. Okay. Okay, this is the example process. I think we discussed already just now. Let's have a look one by one. To case-based reasoning is to mimic human problem solving. Mimic the way humans solve problems. When faced problem, humans search their memories for past problem resembling the current problem and adapt the prior solution to fit the current problem. This is the thing that the way, how we, and the system will have all the knowledge that they think relevant to their domain, to their core business, civil engineering, whatsoever. Then they will try to identify those experts, and then they will try to understand the knowledge that those experts have, index it properly, classify it properly, and so forth, so that anything when the other problem happens, then the other employee want to solve the problems, they can refer to that particular memories, okay, and then resolve it. It's a method of analytical reasoning that utilizes all cases or experiences in an effort to solve problem or interpret solution. The simple example that the Cook library, I don't know what, I don't know. I think, for example, you are programmers, you're working in the project, you put all the codes in the library, okay, and then I think, am I right to use that word library? Brother Awad, can you help me? Is it right? Is it true for me to use the word library for a place where the previous code is stored?
Sorry, sir. The voice was interrupting.
Is it right for me to use the word library for to store a place where the codes is stored or kept?
Uh,
Library.
it, it
Have
could
you heard
be,
about
but
that word library?
yeah,
Yes. Not library that we have the Rohikmah, but the
yeah,
library. The
yes.
library that the place that contain, you know, that's your field. I'm so okay. That's why I'm referring to some of you, because it appeared from the group that you are very good in this one. All right. Okay, this is the library. Okay, for example, the simple is that the library. Your team, set of programmers, finish the project. Okay, and you put all the codes in the library, and suddenly the same new project came. Almost just simple thing you need to think. You need to change. Do you think you want to start from scratch? I don't think so. You will refer back to the old codes to match with the requirements. Okay, the old cases or experiences report. This, for example, CBR. Depend on that. Rather than, that's why one of the knowledge management intention or benefit is uh, to stop the companies, organization to repeat the wheels. Okay, so start from scratch because you already have it, the knowledge. Okay, and CBR process search the case, okay, case library for similar cases, select retrieve the most similar cases, adapt the solution for the most similar cases. Okay, this is an example. All right. Classification, example based. This is for under CBR. There is the need for have the proper classification. Okay, for example, exemplar-based reasoning. The knowledge that you have from individuals, okay, of course, there will be examples. You put it based on example-based reasoning. You classify it based on example-based reasoning. Why? For example, if your company have or face problem A, and that problem A is similar to the previous problem B, then this thing can be used there for CBR. Instant-based reasoning, okay? Cases typically simple, define set attribute factors. What are the instances of the case that's got to do with the case A, for example? Okay, you use it. Instant-based reasoning, energy-based reasoning. The systems are typically used to solve new problem based on past case from a different domain. Okay, from a different domain. What got to do with what is the relationship between government policies and the current government policy with your design of your building, for example, if you're working in a civil engineering company. There's a thing that new problem based on the past cases. This is a thing that in the previous one there is no problem related to sewage, for example. But now the government has a policy about this thing. So you have a new problems to identify how you can resolve it from the past problem from a different domain. Okay. Okay, we discussed already about this thing. Constraint-based reasoning. Okay. What cannot be done? It reflects what constraint restrict possible solution. Okay. For example, the system after leveraging all the after including all the knowledge after store, identify, and put it in one place all the relevant knowledge related to your domain, related to your core business. Okay, suddenly when another employees want to decide on certain things, they will give the scenarios, they will suggest this, what he will intend to do, and system will suggest this cannot be done. Why? If your decision actually is you are against the government policy, you are violating the other stakeholders' rights, okay, and so forth. Okay, model-based reasoning about internal workings of target system. Okay? It can be used to recognize and diagnose abnormal operation discrepancies. Okay, what are the problems with incomplete generic troubleshooting procedures common to diagnosing many types of system? Can help diagnose for not previously experiences. Model-based reasoning. I think in this system normally being used widely in the medical profession, okay, where, for example, it shows the differences between the symptoms of that particular, for example, the symptom of this meningitis, for example, okay, and the data from the patient is not either similar or different from the symptom showed by the model-based reasoning. All right. Okay, this is the reasoning that I just mentioned to you. The instrumental such as Galantis geometry machine. The simple example is that if you are using LaTeX for equation, okay, these are simple things. Okay, developing knowledge. You know case method cycle. When you learn about the SDLC, you will learn about this thing. Okay, case library development process, system operation process, database mining. Okay, sub-process case library, case collection. These are things that the processes involved, if your company want to develop those knowledge epic system. Okay, the case method cycle, you know about the case. First, system development process to develop knowledge epic system will store new cases and retrieve relevant cases. Okay, you identify the knowledge from your employees, what are the new cases, what are the relevant cases in his mind, okay, in his understanding, or so forth. Okay, case library development process to develop and maintain large-scale library that will adequately support the domain in question. You can see that large-scale library. This library means here all the codes, all the relevant knowledge, all the examples, all the reasons, all the classification, and so forth. Large-scale library that will adequately support the domain in question. When someone asks for decision making, the system will be able to suggest. Sir, I don't see any system. Yes, this is still a process. That's why just suggestion. Maybe this thing can be happening during your prime time when all the limitation. You can imagine in the future when API widely used, it becomes something. All the database become the smart databases. Okay, all the limitation in ICT become improvised. You can see a lot of things like this. Okay, system operation process to define installation, deployment, and use support of knowledge application system. Okay, this process based on standard software engineering, relational database management procedures, system operations process. You know about this, your bread and butter on how to support this database operation. Database mining process. Okay, reuse rule inferencing technique and statistical analysis to analyze the case library. Okay, then you what the data mining. You know the technique data mining you learn in your department required courses. I'm not going to that's not my field to discuss about that. Okay, but this is the way you learn about that already in the department required course. I think you have. Let's have a look. Data structures and algorithm. You study about that. You study about the probability and statistic. You study about the that. I think this thing already know about that. And also for you ETM, sorry. Support the integrated business process ERP system is one of the things that should cover the topics. Okay, so you know about this thing. Alhamdulillah. Management process describe how the project task force will be formed. All this thing, how to support the management in terms of identify people who starting the people who will tackle or interact with the experts of the field of the domain. Okay, you go to the particular expert, ask, identify, classify, and index the knowledge that they have. Knowledge transfer process describe incentive system to increase user acceptance and support. This is the thing that one of the things that maybe to come out the policies and procedures in terms of carrot and canes. Okay, already 9:15. Okay, we have two more slides. Okay, sub-process developing case library, case collection, attribute value extraction, hierarchy formation, feedback. All these things example of sub-processes when you want to have the case library. Case library is similar to the code libraries. Okay, collection and seed case provide an initial view of application. Case can refer to the sub knowledge of that individual that you intend to put in the system as the data. Okay, type of knowledge base system. This is example: expert system, decision support, advisor system. Based on the current the knowledge that the system have, they will suggest to the decision makers or other employees who want to make decision about the current scenarios, possible solution, what that advanced system. Okay. Help desk system, so forth. I think help desk system you can see now in many big companies. You can check. You think you check with a human? No, you check with the machine. The system can help you. I'm looking for this thing. Then they will give you some part of solution that help that system. For example, you want to look in Amazon, you want to look something related to what? Okay, to the items that have these functionalities. Okay, based on your input, the system will identify. Look, we have this item. Let's help that system. Okay. Limitation. Okay, the typically developed to serve a task-specific domain problem, not integrated with organization enterprise system. This is one of the things that suddenly on the system that's available on the, let's say, a proprietary system or even open source system in the for you to download or to purchase, sometimes it is not aligned with the enterprise core business. Okay, that's why suppose this team must be in-house in development. It must cater all the relevant core business of that particular organization, must be based from the employees of that organization, and so forth. Security case may include sensitive information. Yes, that's very true, especially when it comes to the policies, when it comes to the because policies, there are some policies they only for limited, strict, confidential, and so forth. Scalability must represent a large number of cases. Yeah, scale. You can imagine if you're working in the big companies, and that's just a simple system development companies. You can imagine in terms of how big the system must be able to support in terms of scalability, because one person may have a different type of knowledge to be indexed and classified. Okay. Speed, as the size of the case library grows to a more comprehensive representation of real environment, computing and searching costs will also increase. Speed, yes. Simple. The Facebook server, uh, the Facebook server is located where? I think more than around 1 hectare, 1 acre. You can Google it. Facebook, just simple as that. Not simple, but very speed and size. Okay. Google, they have Silicon Valleys. They have big place for this thing. This is speed and scalable. I don't know. Maybe what happened in future. Maybe after the computer scientists managed to decrease the size of bits. Okay, with the same capability. Maybe I don't know, but hopefully this thing will not happen because otherwise, human will totally rely on the technology to make decisions without using their instincts. Okay, may not be able to solve all the problems that come across, in particular, increasingly complex environments. Sometimes intuition is one of the, and inspiration, one of the main thing to make a good decision. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Oh, really late from the other appointment. Okay, I think any point you want to raise, brothers and sisters? I think I already late for the another matter. All right. If nothing, I don't know whether how many of you are still with me, but based on trust, no problem. I trust you. Please read your textbook, yeah. In case if you, especially for your, yeah, Chappie. Thank you, brother Azhar. Yeah, the right movie, Chappie. Okay. Uh, okay, just okay. All right. So I think that's all from me. We end the class with tasbih kafarah and surah Allah. Subhanakallah. Okay, thank you very much, my sisters. You may leave now. Sorry for any limitation circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.